Well, JB, before we look ahead to the Berks and Bucks quarter-final on Tuesday night, your first half of the Under-18 season finished on Friday afternoon. How would you assess the first load of games heading into the Merit League 2 campaign, which starts this weekend?
In terms of the goal that we set ourselves at the beginning of the season, I felt that we were on track at that before Christmas. We put ourselves in a really strong and positive position with performances, results, all of those parts, which led into the boys understanding about building performance, competitive edge, and all of those parts. But with the way that we are looking to format the academy and leading it into senior football, we've got our second years, majority of them out on loan. And that leads to a transition as well. So the second half of the first part of the season it's been tough for the lads in terms of getting to grips with not just necessarily just a change of formation, but the performances have taken a little bit of a dip, but that's all part of their learning, and that's part of the process that the boys have got to go through, and it's part of them developing and moving forward and preparing for the next step as well.
We'll get on to loanies shortly, but I suppose putting them first years in a position where they're the senior ones and there's ones that got responsibility will only bode them well for the start of next season, and then the younger lads that you have to then call upon to fill the gaps, potentially stepping into their scholarship periods next year. A great first experience for them. So that next year when they're part of the under-18s group and they're doing this week in, week out, it's not the first time they've been exposed to this type of football.
Yeah, look, we've had under-15s and 16s playing in the 18s fixtures this year, which has been great. And if we talk about an accelerated pathway, which we're looking to build boys on and moving towards our first team, then we have to start them and getting them to understand those levels within the academy as well. So, no, it's been great from a leadership point of view, social, psychological, all of those parts as players, as first years. They've had lots of exposure to football this year, which is exactly what we want for them. And then starting to understand about being a different role within the team since the second years have started going out on loan has been really important for them as well.
Can you just briefly explain what the Under-18 season does now? Because the first half of the season ends, you get put into 2 different merit leagues, and then you play a whole new season. Can you just give fans that maybe aren't aware kind of a summary of how the Under-18 season plays out?
Yeah, so what it is we'll be in a bracket for the first part of the season, which runs from August through till now, which finished, like you said, on Friday. What we then do is we go into a different league where there'll be teams that finished in either the top or the bottom half of our league, alongside which will be the same format for the southern group that we play, which is sort of like South London and beyond. We'll then be put into a league format where we'll play each team within our league once, and then that will equate to being part of the Merit League 2 or Merit League 1 as well moving forward. So
plenty of games still to play, and obviously the one big kind of circle on the calendar is the EFL Youth Alliance Cup final that we got coming up. I still don't think we know who we're playing yet while we wait for the North section to finish, but a fantastic achievement from the lads. As you touched on, it's been a difficult second half of the season to them, but the standout result in the second half of that season was obviously the cup semi-final and getting to the final. How proud are you of them lads, and how much is the group looking forward to that final, whenever it is and whoever it's against?
Yeah, look, we set ourselves another goal, which was linking into the league. The cup side was that we wanted to just get through to the minimum of the third round of this cup. The fact that we've got through to the national final of this League Cup has been brilliant. The boys were excellent throughout that, and they've shown loads of different versatility, character during those games that they've played, and it is something that they're going to be looking forward to. We're still unsure. I think they're into the semi-finals now, so there's still 4 teams that are playing for it from the northern section, and there is a date that's set up in the back end of April for this final. So it is a date that we are looking forward to, which will be then followed by the showcase game as well afterwards.
Absolutely, plenty of exciting games coming up, and we will talk about the County Cup game, which is the reason for this interview. But before then, the loanies. You mentioned that the second years haven't been playing with you for the last few weeks. They've been going out on loan and earning some playing time, and some of them are doing really quite well. Would you just give a kind of a summary of how those guys are getting on? The likes of Joel, Charlie, and Tommy's had some exposure to it as well, and Jacob recently as well.
Yeah, so we sent 3 out at the same club, which was at Tring Athletic, and we were really appreciative of Tring in terms of the exposure that they gave those boys. Once they had completed that time, we did have quite a bit of interest for the lads that were already out. And then now 2 of them, in Charlie Waller and Joel Anker, they're now playing at AFC Russian and Diamonds at Step 3, which is a great exposure for them. The experiences that they'll be getting from that will be really helpful for them moving forward, and the roles that they have to play within that team as well, if that be coming off the bench or starting games. And then there's a couple of others, so we've actually got quite a small group within that second year group. There's going to be some more that are looking to go out. We've got Jacob at Kempston at the moment, so he sort of started his journey into senior football, so he's been exposed to that. So he's been training with them. Unfortunately, he had a game that was cancelled a couple of weeks ago, which was going to be his first game, and he missed the last game through injury. So it is going to be a slow process for him. And then the other boys were just literally looking at planning on what their next route is in terms of senior football, and that exposure word that I keep on using is something that we're going to be making sure that we give the boys from a senior point of view, and getting them used to playing in football, men's football, on like twice a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays, which is going to be what their footballing career is going to be all about moving forward.
Absolutely. And one ex-academy player who's benefited from time out on loan this season is Brooke, who signed a new deal to kind of extend his future with the club, and he's done fantastically well with his loan spells this year, obviously doing really well at Wilston at the moment. How proud are you as an academy of Brooke, and how excited are you for his future?
Look, Brooke's been superb in terms of his journey. He's been exposed to a lot of senior football already, which has been great, if that be around the first team, or through the loans that he's done, and the impact that he's having within the games that he's been playing, where he is now at Wellstone, has been excellent. That's what we need to see from him, and he needs to continue that and continue his development, and hopefully towards our first team in the future as well.
Finally then, Bucks and Bucks County Cup action on Tuesday, a trip to Flackwell Heath. I know it's going to be a mixture of some first team players that need some minutes that will be involved, under-18s players, even maybe some of those that are out on loan at the moment that you aren't usually able to call upon. So similar when we have these conversations ahead of the FA Youth Cup and what have you, an opportunity to test themselves in a cup competition, obviously a unique one of this one. It'll be at a stadium, it'll be in front of us against a senior team, and there'll be fans there as well. So a good test for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I think whenever we have these sorts of fixtures, there is a crowd there, which is a different experience to what they expect they have on a Saturday. The players that they'll be in and around will hopefully give them the opportunity to learn from, having those senior players around it and managing the game in a slightly different way, but having those players there that sort of show them a different level to the levels of football that there are. But Flackwell Heath's going to be a challenge for everyone in terms of going and playing away, playing in a cup fixture. They're always, you never know what's going to happen within those, but it's going to be a really good experience for all that are involved.